Sullivan.
I want to keep them safe too, Senator. I want when people ride the rail, I want them to be safe when they move.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, great to see you. I just want to really thank you. I think you're doing a great job. You've been very responsive. That press conference we had with our congressional delegation over at the Department of Transportation after the plane crash in Alaska was really meaningful to my constituents. So thank you. Keep up the fantastic work. I want to build on what we call the FAA initiative, you know, the Federal Aviation Safety Initiative in Alaska, where I know you're committed to that. I gave our big shout out to you in my annual speech to our Alaska legislature last week. One thing to follow up on, when you're talking about ATC, the Anchorage Center for the FAA on the air traffic controllers, these men and women do a great job. I'd love for you, when you come to Alaska, to see them, but I agree, it's like Post-it notes, floppy disks. I mean, it is so antiquated, and they just don't do aviation control for Alaska. Anyone who's flying from the lower 48 to Asia, Japan, Korea, they fly over Alaska. The ATC in Alaska essentially takes them, controls them, hands them off all the way in Tokyo. So they're protecting the whole country. So can you commit to me to help with technical upgrades? I just met with a bunch of our ATC leadership, and boy, oh boy, they're great, but they really, they're World War II era technology.
So I would look forward to, I worked out what will be a proposal for the Senate and the House. I've shared it with the President. We're trying to just pressure test the cost on this before I send it to all of you, but we need to, this is an American effort.
Yeah.
And time has killed, you guys have spent a lot of money on trying to upgrade air traffic control, and there's a lot of highfalutin ideas out there. We're at the basics.
Yeah.
Let's build the basics of this system that gets rid of World War II and brings us into the 21st century, and Alaska is a key part of it. And we talked about hotspots around the country. You mentioned the Anchorage.
Yep.
That's been a focus of the FAA, and using AI technology to see if we're missing something that's not visible to the human eye with regard to issues in your airspace. So
right. And thank you. And then but again, when you're looking at ATC tech software upgrade, boy, oh boy, Anchorage Center needs it, and it's not just for Anchorage. Like I said, they take care of everybody flying to Asia.
I want to do the whole country. Everybody needs it. So we a whole American build-out. American jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. It'll be great.
Couldn't agree more. Bridges, I'm so glad to see the chairman and my good friend, the ranking member, talking about big, beautiful bridges. I just, you know, that is a beautiful bridge, Senator Whitehouse. By the way, the one thing, though, that my good friend from Rhode Island didn't mention on permitting delays, he mentioned reforms, bureaucracy, the freezes, far left, radical, environmental, frivolous lawsuits. My state lives with that. That's what we deal with every darn day. And if there isn't litigation reform, these groups who want to kill roads, bridges, ports in Alaska, they get a free hand. These groups are allowed to sue like 6, 7 years after records of decision. It's ridiculous. So we need permitting reform that limits the radical far-left environmental groups from crushing every project, particularly in my state. I can't wait to work with Senator Whitehouse on those ideas, too.
Representing the radical far left.
Well, you kind of do, but we're still good friends. Anyways, I did have an amendment a couple years ago that I'd love for you to take a look at on bridges that said if it's an existing bridge and you're going to rebuild it in the same space or do maintenance on it, why in the heck do you need to do a NEPA? So my bill, which every Republican supported, I can't remember her name, California Senator, she went on the floor screaming, the Sullivan Amendment will kill children. I'm like, what? I mean, so we want an exclusion from NEPA if all you're doing is building in the same footprint for a bridge. It's common sense. And would you agree with something like that, Mr. Secretary?
100%.
Okay, I'm going to reattack that, and Sheldon Whitehouse is going to be my co-sponsor.
I do like working with Senator Sullivan.
Okay, that's what I mean. Mr. Secretary, I have a list of frozen build grants that I'm going to just have you for the record. Not many. You guys have done a good one. You just unfroze the FHWA one in Whittier, Alaska. But if you and I can work on that. And then finally, we'll submit that for the record. Two final quick questions. We are trying to do a lot. You just sent me a letter. I really appreciate that yesterday on the building out of the Port of Alaska, Port of Anchorage, we call it. We're getting federal dollars, MIRAD and others, so thank you. But once again, the permitting is, you know, I wrote you about NEPA, but there's a NOAA, you know, beluga whale thing. I mean, we need to get everybody together on the permitting side for the Port of Anchorage and follow through on the President's Day 1 executive order on unleashing Alaska's economy and resources, which we are very happy President Trump did that. Can I get your commitment to work with us on that kind of, because it's not just you guys, and your letter was much appreciated, but it's other agencies, and I think we just all need to get together and say, hey, this is a really needed port. We're finally getting federal dollars to it, but we got to get the permitting right. If it's 6, 7 years on permits, that's just wasted money, wasted time.
I would welcome the opportunity to work with you, Senator, and I look forward to seeing you in August.
Great. And then finally, I'll submit it for the record. We have an idea on the tribal transportation program that can help our tribes get more infrastructure dollars. As you know, a lot of our tribes, not just in Alaska, but in the lower 48, they really suffer from lack of infrastructure. And there's some ideas to help that program be more efficient, get some more funding to our tribes throughout America, and would welcome to work with you on that.
Yes, Senator.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. You're doing a great job.